400 stanzas. On the Middle Way. With commentary by Gyel-tsap. Chapter 8. Thoroughly preparing the student. Question: how do we escape from the bondage of desire to which we have been accustomed since beginningless time?
Answer: a friendship motivated by desire between people who are not amicable and who disagree does not last long. Similarly, desire does not last long for an adept who recognizes the faults in all external and internal things which give rise to many unwanted consequences. When properly investigated, its root is found to be unstable and thus one can get rid of it. It is like the following analogy: when a Brahmin called Gyel was getting married, he wanted to hold his young bride's hand. The teacher said, "Brahmin boy, relationship is bondage, separation is freedom." Hearing this, Gyel analyzed the four noble truths, through which he became a foe destroyer. Relationship indicated true sources of suffering, bondage, true sufferings, separation, true paths, and freedom, true cessations. Disturbing emotions can be abandoned not only through seeing the faults in objects, but also because those objects, the basis of these faults, lack true existence. Desire depends on and operates in relation to a desired thing which, moreover, does not exist by way of its own entity, for some are attracted to that object, some have an aversion to it, and some are confused by it. If the desired object existed by way of its own entity, only desire should arise toward it. Since this is not inevitable, focal objects are only imputed by conceptuality, and that which is desired does not exist by way of its own entity. Therefore, from the point of view of the basis too, disturbing emotions can be abandoned.
It is like the following analogy: a man had two wives. When the one who was a mother saw her daughter, she felt happy. When the younger wife, who had no children, saw the daughter, she suffered. Their servant remained indifferent. Not only can disturbing emotions be abandoned because their focal objects lack true existence, but also because their causes do not have true existence. It says, the existence of disturbing emotions such as desire cannot be found apart from the conceptualizations of an incorrect mental approach and imputation by conceptuality, as a snake is imputed to a mottled rope. Their existence is simply a reliant existence, and they do not exist by way of their own entity. If they did, who with intelligence would hold they are imputed by conceptuality, which means the opposite of existence in terms of their own reality. Imputation by conceptuality and existence by way of a thing's own entity are contradictory.
When a snake is imputed to a rope, neither the parts of the rope, that which possesses the parts, its continuum, nor that which possesses the continuum appropriately illustrate a snake. Similarly, neither the collection of the aggregates, that which makes up the collection, its continuum, nor that which possesses the continuum is appropriate as the person. You should understand that because of being imputed independence on the aggregates, the person does not exist by way of its own entity, and that this, furthermore, applies to all phenomena. An instance of mistaken and wrong perception is when a practitioner of concentration mistakenly imagines there to be a skull on top of his head. If someone else shows him a skull and says, "This fell from your head," the idea will be dispelled. The meaning of the text and of Candrakirti's commentary at this point may be understood by a thorough comprehension of what the 60 stanzas of reasoning says. Assertion: since men and women are bound together by mutual desire, one cannot give up women and thus cannot give up desire.
Answer: no man is intrinsically bound to a woman. Since anything inherent is irrevocable, whatever is intrinsically bound together should not be separable. Yet in the case of that which should not be separable, separation is seen. It is like the following analogy: though a black and a white ox are not intrinsically bound together, they are bound by means of a yoke and harness. Similarly, craving binds objects and sense organs together. Assertion: if disturbing emotions are stopped by analyzing in this way, why do most people appear not to have abandoned them?
Answer: it is because they lack a strong belief in the profound teaching. Those with little merit do not even have a doubt regarding the two truths as asserted by Nagarjuna, that while dependent arising is empty of inherent existence, actions and agents are feasible. Since they do not wonder whether this is so or not, how can they attain the liberation of having abandoned all disturbing attitudes and emotions? When emptiness is taught, simply entertaining the positive doubt that it might be so tears worldly existence to tatters, since to some extent the fundamental nature of existence has become the mind's object. Someone who has such a positive doubt will seek certainty, and by ascertaining the correct view through scriptural citations and reasoning, will attain liberation when disturbing attitudes and emotions come to an end. It is like the following analogy: a captain was captured by an ogress who told him not to look toward the south. Feeling suspicious, he went that way and met the king of horses, Balahaka, escaped from the ogress and crossed the ocean. Had he not been suspicious, he would not have escaped from the ogress nor reached the other shore. This shows that even to attain just liberation it is essential to understand the meaning of reality. The subduer said that from the first moment of the path of seeing until liberation there will be no decline, only increase in the direct perception of emptiness, concerning which even a doubt tears worldly existence to tatters. The practice of giving and so forth, conjoined with it, will also only increase. Anyone who lacks interest in the meaning of emptiness clearly has no sense and shows how very foolish he or she is.
A certain man had become accomplished in the use of 2 mantras. One mantra said over a spoon pacified people's sicknesses. The second acted likewise when accompanied by a hand gesture. He advised a close friend to acquire the 2 mantras from him because they would help him, but the friend did not do so. After the man's death his friend contracted a serious illness which was incurable and he died. The wise should take an interest in contemplating emptiness. Worldly practices come to an end once they have yielded their fruit, but the understanding of emptiness leads the practices of giving and so forth to the city of omniscience. The contemplation of emptiness is like a sugar candy, it should always be savored. Question: does one meditate on emptiness, although things are not empty, to free oneself from desire, or does one view them that way because they actually are empty of true existence?
Answer: once one has an understanding of that which is empty as empty, one familiarizes oneself with it. It is not the case that things, which are actually not empty, are simply regarded as empty, with the thought that nirvana will be attained by meditating on emptiness. One who holds this view does not understand the emptiness of the person and aggregates but thinks of them as truly existent. Tathagatas say one will not reach nirvana by means of wrong views misconceiving the fundamental nature of existence. The teacher said, all phenomena are empty in that they do not exist inherently. No matter which of the 3 states of nirvana one enters, one must become learned in the meaning of emptiness.